The real Nelson Mandela died in 1985 begins with a Facebook post that has been viewed more than 1 million times since it was shared on the 6th of July 2021. It claims that the former South African president died in 1985, not 2013, and was replaced with a lookalike who never spoke isiXhosa or wore traditional clothes after his release from prison in 1990. Several other accounts have shared an identical message, but the most popular, shared more than 47,000 times, was posted by an account claiming to belong to Buntapetsi, a South African actor. She is best known for her role as Nelson Mandela on the popular soap opera Generations, The Legacy. But while the Facebook account sharing the Mandela story is under the name Nelson Mandela, Petsy says on Twitter that her official Facebook account is Buntapetsi Actor. So at least one of the accounts sharing this message is fake, but are the claims true?
Who is this person? Wrong. There is no Elvis Presley, and there never was. This rock and roll icon's name is actually Elvis Presley. Now, of course that's not true. His name is Elvis Presley, but the earth-shattering feeling you just experienced is what some might call the Mandela Effect.
Good old-fashioned conspiracy theory.
All right, tell us all about it, man.
Basically, the Mandela Effect refers to a situation in which a large mass of people believe an event occurred when it did not. The term originated in 2009 by Fiona Broome after she discovered that she, along with a number of others, believed that Nelson Mandela had died in the 1980s when he actually died in 2013. Where does the Mandela Effect come from, and why do these strange perceptions of history keep happening? We have the answers to all your questions, plus famous examples of the Mandela Effect. Thanks for watching the channel. The term Mandela Effect was first coined in 2009 by Fiona Broome when she created a website to detail her observance of the phenomenon. Broome was at a conference talking with other people about how she remembered the tragedy of former South African President Nelson Mandela's death in a South African prison in the 1980s. So the question remains, did Nelson Mandela really die in prison? The answer to this question is critical in terms of discovering if the Mandela Effect is real, or is it just a cover-up for a bigger conspiracy to hide whether the real Nelson Mandela died in 1968 in prison. In the past year, the legacy of Madiba was doubted when South African social media was blazing with allegations and conspiracy theories that the real Madiba died in 1985 when he was 67 years old. These allegations continued, claiming that South Africans performed 67 minutes of charity to pay respect to the real Madiba, and that the apartheid government installed an impersonator named Gibson Makanda to play Madiba. For more information about the fake Madiba theory, watch our other video where we break down the theory. However, Nelson Mandela did not die in the 1980s in a prison. He passed away in 2013. As Broome began to talk to other people about her memories, she learned that she was not alone. Others remembered seeing news coverage of his death as well as a speech by his widow. Broome was shocked that such a large mass of people could remember the same identical event in such detail when it never happened. Encouraged by her book publisher, she began her website to discuss what she called the Mandela Effect and other incidents like it. Researcher Fiona Broome discovered that she and others had incorrect memories of a historical event, so she coined the term Mandela Effect to describe the collective misremembering of a historical event. The story of Nelson Mandela is not the only example of this type of false group memory. As the concept of the Mandela Effect grew along with Broome's website, other group false memories began to emerge. For example, where is New Zealand in relation to Australia? If you look at a map, you will see that it is southeast of the country. However, there is a community of people who claim to remember New Zealand being northeast instead of southeast. A more likely explanation for the Mandela Effect involves false memories. Before we consider what is meant by false memories, let's look at an example of the Mandela effect, as it will help us to understand how memory can be faulty and may lead to the phenomenon that we are describing. Who was Alexander Hamilton? Most Americans learned in school that he was a founding father of the United States of America, but that he was not a president. However, when asked about the presidents of the United States, many people mistakenly believe that Hamilton was a president. Why? If we consider a simple neuroscience explanation, the memory for Alexander Hamilton is encoded in an area of the brain where the memories for the presidents of the United States are stored. The means by which memory traces are stored is called the engram, and the framework in which similar memories are associated with each other is called the schema. So, when people try to recall Hamilton, this sets off the neurons in close connection to each other, bringing with it the memory of the presidents. Though this is an oversimplified explanation, it illustrates the general process. When memories are recalled rather than remembered perfectly, they are influenced to the point that they can eventually become incorrect. In this way, memory is unreliable and not infallible. So basically, information that you learn after an event can change your memory of an event. This includes event-subtle information and helps to explain why eyewitness testimony can be unreliable. Going back to the fake Mandela theory, there are a number of questions that still remain unanswered. Let me break down key issues with the entire Long Walk to Freedom story of Nelson Mandela. Why do we celebrating 67 minutes of Mandela? According to the theory, it is because the real Mandela died in 1985 at the age of 67. That is why Winnie Madikizela Mandela did not want to marry the fake Mandela, so they made it as if Winnie had an affair, so Mandela divorced her. The theory believes she didn't want to marry the fake Mandela and they knew Winnie would tell the public the truth. We have an entire video on the channel about the affair with advocate Dolly Pofu, who's now a member of the Umkhonto weSizwe party. Broom had vividly recalled Mandela dying while he was imprisoned during the 1980s. She even recollected his widow's speech and riots in some cities. Upon learning that Mandela was still alive, she initially dismissed her memories as a result of misunderstanding. However, during a conversation with a security staff member at a science fiction and fantasy convention in 2009, Broom reportedly learned that others possessed the same false memory about Mandela's death in prison, with similar details about the aftermath. Broom was struck by the similarities and created a website for people to share and discuss their memories that did not align with recorded history, a phenomenon she called the Mandela Effect. Through thousands of comments, people began to uncover shared memories that differed from reality, and the Mandela Effect went viral. It became an internet phenomenon, going as far as to inspire a film titled The Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect continues to be hotly debated, despite reasonable evidence that it is more likely explained in terms of the fallibility of human memory than some form of parallel universes at work. Of course, we don't know everything. As more incidents of the Mandela Effect continue to occur, perhaps more research into the origins will shed light on the causes. Thanks for watching the Bongani Men's YouTube channel.